everybody, welcome to another video. Hope you're ready to flex those brain muscles. Today we're going to talk about how to factor the sum or difference of two cubes. So in this case we can factor a binomial similar like we did with the difference of squares, but in this case it's the sum of two cubes or the difference of two cubes. So if we have a binomial that can be expressed as something cubed plus something cubed, we can rewrite it as this. And if we have a binomial that can be expressed as something cubed minus something cubed, we can rewrite it as this. And if you want to prove to yourself that this is correct, you can always FOIL out. So distribute the A and then the B, and it should simplify to get you this. I won't do it in this video, but you can do it on your own time and prove to yourself that this works. So yeah, we simply have to identify what our A is and what our B is when we factor something, just like we did with the difference of squares. And then we just plug A and B into this formula. So before I start with the example, there is a little bit of a trick. It's really silly, but it kind of works to remember these formulas. So let's see. This sign is always the same. So we have a difference here, we have a difference here. Minus, minus, plus, plus. Always the same sign, right? This sign is always opposite. So in this case we have minus and it's plus, and in this case we have plus and it's minus, and this case is always positive. So I have same, opposite, always positive, and for short I can write SOAP, S-O-A-P. And I know this is a little bit silly, but I promise you when you get to your exam you're gonna think, oh yeah, SOAP, and you're gonna remember it, I promise you will. Okay, so yeah, moving on, we'll go ahead and start with this example. I just need to identify what my A is and what my B is. I see if I can rewrite this as something cubed minus something cubed, and then plug in for A and B and finish the factoring process. So let's see, what can I cube to get x cubed? Well, that's simply x, right? What can I cube to get 125? Let's see, 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125, so it's actually going to be 5 cubed. Okay, and now what I do is I just plug in my A, which is x, and my B, which is 5, into this difference formula. So I have x minus 5, this is always same, and then I have x squared, and this is always opposite, plus A times B, that's 5x, and this one is always positive, and this one's 25 since that is b squared and my b is 5. And this is the final factored form. Just a little heads up and a tip, don't try to factor this. This won't ever factor nicely. You'll have to use a quadratic formula and you'll most likely always get complex roots. So this will never factor nicely, so you're good there. Occasionally this will be a difference of squares or a difference or sum of cubes, so that's the only real thing to look out for. But yeah, in this case we are done. Let's do one more example. All right, we got our next example. We are asked to factor this. So let's see if we can rewrite it as the sum of two cubes. So we need to find out what do we cube to get 27x to the 6th. So I'm gonna write my parentheses here. Cubed here. Now I need to figure out what I can cube to get 27x to the 6th. Well, let's see. I know that 3 times 3 is 9 times 3. That gives me the 27. 3 cubed, right? So what can I cube to get x to the 6th? Let's see. X squared times x squared times x squared. That gives me x to the 6th. So my x squared is what's left in here. And you could double check this by distributing the 3. So 3 cubed gets me that 27. X squared cubed, I multiply the exponents. Remember my exponent rules, I multiply and I get back to x to the 6th. So this is our A plus, let's see, what is our B? What can we cube to get 64? Let's see, 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64, so we can rewrite this as 4 cubed. So our A is 3x squared, our B is 4. So now I have my A and my B, I'm just going to plug in for A and B. 3x squared plus 4 So then I'm using this formula, remember, same, and then I have opposite, let's see, in this case it's a squared. So I have to be a little bit careful. How do I square this? Let's see, it's gonna give me 9x to the 4th. That's that opposite sign. And then I have a times b, which is gonna give me 12x squared. And this one's always positive. And then lastly I have b squared, and my b is 4, so that's just 16. Now let's make sure we don't have the sum of, no, I can't express this as the sum of 2 cubes, so we are complete. And that's the last example. So again, the tricky part is identifying and really seeing that, oh, okay, this is a sum of 2 cubes, or this is a difference of 2 cubes, and identifying that, and then identifying what the a is and what the b is. But once you can do that, you simply just plug it in to the formula, and it works out pretty nicely. So anyways, that's the end of the video. Leave comments, suggestions, questions, all that stuff, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.